Imagine waking up on a crisp spring morning, stepping into your kitchen, and pouring a golden, velvety stream of maple syrup over a stack of fluffy pancakes. The way it glistens in the morning light, the way the rich aroma fills the air, it's more than just a topping. It's a tradition, a comfort, and for many of us, a taste of home. But here's the thing. That sweet maple flavor you love has been around far longer than your favorite brunch spot or your grandmother's Sunday breakfast table. In fact, it has roots that go back centuries long before the first pancake was ever flipped. And while technology has made production faster and more efficient, the heart of maple syrup making hasn't changed much. So let's take a journey from the forest to the factory and uncover how this liquid gold is made, why it's still treasured today, and even explore how another breakfast classic, orange juice, became part of America's morning ritual. Long before maple syrup was bottled, labeled, and stacked neatly on grocery store shelves, it was discovered by Native Americans. They learned how to tap maple trees, collect the sap, and transform it into syrup using little more than wooden tools, fire, and ingenuity. Imagine the scene: sap dripping into wooden buckets, the smell of wood smoke filling the air, and the sweet liquid bubbling in a pot over an open flame under the stars. To them, maple syrup wasn't just a food it was a gift from nature itself, a rare treat in the harsh seasons, and something to be cherished. When European settlers arrived in North America, they quickly caught on. They took this labor-intensive process and scaled it up, finding ways to collect more sap and boil it faster. Before long, maple syrup was no longer just a seasonal treat. It was a valuable trade product and, eventually, a thriving industry. Today, the maple syrup process still starts in the same magical window of early spring. It's all about timing. Warm days and freezing nights create just the right conditions for sap to flow through sugar maple trees. Producers drill a small, precise hole just deep enough to reach the sap without harming the tree and insert a spout or spile to guide the sap into a collection system. In olden days, these were metal buckets hung on hooks, but now you're more likely to see a network of plastic tubing stretching for miles, connecting dozens or even hundreds of trees. Some farms use vacuum pumps to gently pull more sap from the trees, increasing efficiency while keeping the trees healthy. It's a high-tech twist on an ancient craft. The numbers are staggering. A single mature maple tree can yield 20 to 30 gallons of sap in a season. But here's the catch. It takes about 40 gallons of raw sap to make just 1 gallon of finished syrup. That's why the process demands both patience and skill. Early season. Sap is lighter and sweeter, while late-season sap has a deeper color and bolder flavor. Expert producers know how to balance the timing of collection to produce syrups of different grades, from delicate golden to robust dark amber. Once collected, the sap is transported to large holding tanks near the sugar house or processing facility. It's kept cool to prevent spoilage. Sap that warms too much can ferment, ruining the flavor. Then comes the most mesmerizing part: boiling. The sap is poured into wide, shallow pans inside an evaporator, where it's heated until most of the water evaporates. Steam billows through the air, carrying a sweet, caramel-like scent that clings to your clothes. This is the heart of syrup making: hours of steady boiling, constant monitoring, and fine-tuning the temperature to hit that perfect balance of sweetness, color, and thickness. In smaller, traditional setups, wood-fired evaporators impart a subtle, smoky note to the syrup, a flavor you'll never find in mass-market bottles. As the sap thickens into syrup, tiny mineral deposits known as sugar sand form. They're harmless but can make the syrup cloudy or gritty, so producers filter the syrup carefully. Some use old-fashioned cloth filter bags. Others use stainless steel filter presses. Either way, the goal is the same: a crystal-clear syrup with a smooth, velvety texture. Once filtered, it's graded. In the U.S., Grade A syrups range from golden light and mild to dark, strong, and robust. The grade not only affects flavor, but often determines the price. Lighter syrups tend to fetch more, while darker syrups are favored by chefs for cooking. And baking bottling happens while the syrup is still hot around 190 to 200 degrees Fahrenheit, so it stays sterile and fresh. The packaging ranges from charming glass bottles shaped like maple leaves to large plastic jugs for serious syrup lovers. Labels proudly display the grade, origin, and sometimes the story of the sugar house where it was made. For small producers, selling directly to customers at farm stands or maple festivals is part of the charm. For big brands, nationwide distribution keeps syrup flowing to breakfast tables across America. But no matter how it's packaged, every drop represents the same timeless process that's been cherished for generations. If maple syrup is the gold of breakfast tables, then orange juice is the sunshine. Think back to when a glass of OJ was a non-negotiable part of breakfast, bright, tangy, and refreshing. Its history is surprisingly modern compared to maple syrup's ancient roots, yet it's just as woven into American culture. Oranges have been enjoyed fresh for centuries, but turning them into juice on a large scale took clever marketing and a few game-changing innovations. In the early 20th century, farmers in Florida and California were producing more oranges than they could sell fresh. Enter Sunkist with a brilliant idea. Instead of eating the fruit, drink it. Their campaign encouraged Americans to start each day with a fresh glass of orange juice. And the trend took off. During World War II, another leap happened. The U.S. Army needed a reliable source of vitamin C for soldiers, but shipping fresh fruit wasn't practical. Scientists developed frozen concentrated orange juice, which could be reconstituted with water. After the war, brands like Minute Maid brought this innovation to supermarkets, making OJ a breakfast staple in households nationwide. By the 1950s and 60s, was marketed as the perfect start to your day. Happy families, smiling kids, and death. The promise of health in every sip inside a modern orange juice factory. The process begins in sunny groves, where varieties like Valencia and Navel oranges are grown to peak ripeness. Florida is the heavyweight in U.S. production, while Brazil dominates the global export market. Oranges are picked either by hand to protect delicate fruit or by mechanical harvesters for speed on, rushed to processing plants in refrigerated trucks. Speed matters. The fresher the fruit, the better the juice upon arrival. The oranges are washed thoroughly to remove dirt, pesticides, and residue. Then they're sorted by size, ripeness, and quality. Only the best make it to the juicing line, because even one bad orange can spoil the flavor of an entire batch. Juicing is done mechanically. The fruit is halved and pressed, releasing juice while separating seeds and peel to prevent bitterness. For premium juices, cold pressing is used, a slower method that preserves more natural enzymes, vitamins, and fresh flavor. After extraction, the juice is filtered to remove unwanted solids, though some varieties keep pulp for texture. Pasteurization follows, heating the juice just enough to kill harmful bacteria without destroying too much flavor. For concentrated juice, water is evaporated off, leaving a syrupy base that can be stored and later diluted. Not from concentrate juice skips this step, heading straight to bottling for that fresh squeezed taste. Packaging ranges from cartons to plastic bottles, each sealed to lock in freshness. Labels often highlight 100% juice, no added sugar, or fresh from Florida to appeal to health-conscious shoppers. Like maple syrup, orange juice is more than a product, it's an experience, tied to comfort, family, and the rituals of starting the day. Both maple syrup and orange juice have stood the test of time because they deliver something we crave: authenticity. They're simple, natural, and deeply connected to tradition. Whether it's the slow drip of sap from a maple tree or the burst of sunshine in a freshly poured glass of OJ, these foods carry stories. They remind us that even in a fast-paced, convenience-driven world, some things are worth savoring. Ever wonder what really goes into making the drinks and snacks you've been enjoying for years? Not the simplified from farm to table story, but the real, behind-the-scenes process where industrial precision meets food magic. Imagine this. It's a hot summer morning. You pour a tall glass of golden orange juice straight from the fridge. Take a sip and instantly feel refreshed. But that simple glass in your hand has traveled through a maze of technology, preservation, techniques, and flavor adjustments before it ever reached your kitchen. And just when you think you know your favorite treats, along comes the tangy troublemaker of the candy world, Sour Patch Kids, ready to hijack your taste buds with a sour punch followed by a sugary hug. Today, we're diving into both worlds, the science and craft of large-scale orange juice production and the wild ride of manufacturing Sour Patch Kids. Buckle up, because we're going from sweet to sour and back again. The story of orange juice starts with an important but often misunderstood step: pasteurization. It's the unsung hero that keeps juice safe for your breakfast table, even though it slightly changes the taste and nutrition. Without pasteurization, harmful microorganisms could spoil your juice long before it makes it to the store. There are two major methods here: flash pasteurization, which quickly heats juice to the perfect temperature before rapidly cooling it, and HTST, high-temperature short-time pasteurization, which holds the juice at a slightly longer heat exposure. Both methods aim to kill bacteria without cooking away that bright, refreshing orange flavor. Premium brands sometimes skip heat altogether, opting for high-pressure processing HPP. Instead of heat, they apply pressures of up to 87,000 psi, enough to crush a submarine to destroy bacteria while preserving more flavor and vitamin C. It's expensive, but for cold-pressed juices that promise fresh squeezed taste, it's worth every penny. Still, for the vast majority of juice on grocery shelves, heat pasteurization remains king, striking the balance between safety, shelf life, and cost. For some juice products, especially those labeled from concentrate, there's an extra step. Manufacturers remove up to 65% of the juice's water content using vacuum heat evaporation. This shrinks the volume for easier, cheaper shipping around the globe. Later, the concentrate is rehydrated with carefully measured water to restore its original texture and flavor. But here's the catch: evaporation strips away some of the fresh citrus aroma. The fix? Flavor packs natural blends of orange oils and essences, extracted during processing, are added back in to recapture that just squeezed brightness. These packs ensure every sip tastes consistent year-round, even when the fruit comes from different harvests or regions. Consistency is the holy grail of large-scale juice production. Oranges, like all fruits, vary in sweetness and acidity, depending on the weather, soil, and harvest timing. Without intervention, one bottle might taste tart and another overly sweet. To prevent this, juice makers blend different batches, mixing flavors until they hit the brand's signature taste profile. Think of it as blending wine, part art, part science. Flavor packs, made from the same oranges used in the juice, are sparingly used to fine-tune the aroma and taste, especially after pasteurization or concentration. In juice blends that mix orange with mango, pineapple, or tropical flavors, this balancing act becomes even more crucial to achieve a harmonious taste. Once the juice meets flavor and safety standards, it's time for packaging, an often overlooked, yet vital stage. For long shelf-life products, aseptic packaging is the go-to method. The juice is sterilized, then sealed in sterile cartons, often layered with paperboard, plastic, and aluminum to block light and oxygen, keeping it fresh for months without refrigeration. Premium juices, especially cold-pressed ones, often use glass bottles or high-quality PET plastic to highlight their natural color and fresh appeal. Glass is heavier and more fragile, but consumers perceive it as more authentic and eco-friendly. Labels do more than list nutrition facts, they tell the product's story. Signal quality and catch your eye in a crowded store, from pasteurization to concentration. Blending and packaging. The entire orange juice process is designed for one thing: delivering the same sunny, refreshing taste no matter the season or location. It's why orange juice has remained a breakfast staple in the U.S. for generations. Its natural sweetness, vitamin C boost, and vibrant color have made it more than just a drink, it's a ritual. Whether enjoyed on a rushed weekday morning or poured into champagne for a weekend mimosa, orange juice has a place in our culture, adapting with trends like organic farming, no sugar-added formulas, and cold-pressed production. But enough about mornings, it's time for a sugar rush. Shift gears from the breakfast table to the candy aisle, and you'll find a bag of Sour Patch Kids daring you to make a face. These mischievous gummies didn't always go by their now famous name. In 1979, they were launched as Mars Men, shaped like space invaders. Fun idea, wrong timing. The space theme didn't stick. By the 1980s, they were reborn as Sour Patch Kids, inspired by the cultural obsession with Cabbage Patch Kids dolls. The concept was genius, a candy that literally plays with your taste buds, sour first, sweet later. The sour hit comes from citric acid, often sourced from lemons and limes or produced in labs for consistency. It's carefully measured, so it delivers a sharp tang without overwhelming the sweet finish. This balance is the secret to Sour Patch Kids' addictiveness. You take one for the challenge, then another for the reward. The main body of the candy is a blend of sugar, corn syrup, and gelatin. Sugar provides sweetness, corn syrup gives that stretchy chew, and gelatin locks in the soft but firm bite. Food coloring and natural or artificial flavors round out the experience, turning each gummy into a burst of color and taste. Ingredient sourcing is serious business here. Suppliers must meet strict quality standards for sweetness, texture, and purity. Each incoming shipment of sugar, corn syrup, gelatin, and citric acid is tested before it enters production. Any inconsistency could throw off the delicate balance between sour and sweet that fans expect. Once approved, ingredients are combined in massive industrial mixers. The gelatin is dissolved completely to avoid lumps, then heated with sugar and corn syrup until smooth. Flavorings and colors are added next, each carefully matched to the candy's intended taste and appearance. The hot candy mixture is poured into starch-coated molds shaped like the iconic kid figures. The cornstarch prevents sticking and helps them release cleanly after cooling. Cooling is a slow, deliberate process. Too fast, and the texture becomes tough. Too slow, and the candy won't set properly. After hours of resting, the gummies are popped from their molds, still bare and waiting for their signature coat. That's where the tumbling drums come in, giant rotating barrels that toss the candies with a mix of sugar and citric acid until every surface is dusted. The coating doesn't just add flavor, it's the brand's identity. Get the ratio wrong and you risk disappointing fans. Once coated, the candies are dried under controlled temperature and humidity to lock in texture and prevent stickiness. Workers and automated systems check for clumps or misshapen pieces, removing any that don't meet standards. The final step is packaging. Automated weighers portion exact amounts into brightly designed bags that scream fun from store shelves. These bags don't just protect the candy from moisture and damage their marketing. Tools that tell you exactly what you're in for. Once sealed, the bags are boxed, shipped to warehouses, and distributed nationwide, with climate control ensuring they arrive in perfect condition. From there, it's only a matter of time before you tear one open, make that sour face, and go back for more. What's fascinating is that both orange juice and Sour Patch Kids, despite being polar opposites in flavor and nutrition, share the same core production values: consistency, safety, and consumer trust. Both industries obsess over delivering the exact experience you expect. Whether that's the familiar citrus brightness of your morning OJ or the sour-sweet punch of your favorite gummy, it's a reminder that behind every sip and every bite is an entire world of engineering, testing, and fine-tuning all. So you can enjoy a moment of flavor without thinking twice about how it got there. So next time you pour a glass of orange juice or rip open a bag of Sour Patch Kids, you'll know you're holding the result of decades of innovation and dedication. From the orchards and flavor labs to the tumbling drums and packaging lines, it's a journey worth appreciating. And maybe, just maybe, you'll savor that sip or that sour bite a little more, knowing the story behind it.